All right, hey guys, I didn't expect this, but apparently my muse wants me to mess around with the Psion today, so we're going to work with the 5e24 D&D plus MTG conversion for the Psion to be a spell point caster, like everything else that we do. It'll be the 14th class. We're going to make it a spell point caster as well. So give me a few moments here. I need to go through just to make sure that I'm up and running and do all my intro update stuff here real fast with you guys. So give me a hot minute. If you're catching this in the future, you can skip forward. And for everyone else that's trapped here in space-time with me here now, let me regale you with my intro spiel. And but you know, if you know this already, you can skip ahead a minute. So hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online, and I create content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. My primary interest is blending Magic the Gathering into the 5e game engine. So I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a hold on real quick. Something is amiss. Let me make sure things are not amiss. I'm going to copy here. I'm trying to do some social media posts and it's looking weird. How do I post? And then, yeah, okay, let's do that. And then, sorry, I'm held up here. I normally don't have this kind of trouble, but apparently I'm having this kind of trouble. So yeah, I've been DMing since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 1994. There we go. Gotcha. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2018. The first stuff that I built on the DMsGuild is the color mana system, converting the Vancian spell slots in 8 schools of magic traditional to Dungeons and Dragons, and instead replacing it with the 5 color magic and color mana system of Magic the Gathering. So it works since Wizard owns both MTG and D&D. Easy blending. So all these books are already published. Give me a second. My updates are done here, so I can flip my screen around and we can get to work. There we go. Yeah, all these books are already published. You can check out the Color Mana series here on the DMsGuild. They're all 100% free preview, so be welcome to check them out. Here's a bunch of other books that I've created. Everything that I do is always full free preview. You can read them from cover to cover. And if you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. And we do this 9 times per week. This is the playtest document. If we click that, it'll take us to the Psion. Here we go. And then we can pop open the PDF. So we'll have that on tap. And let's see, we have the playtest document that we're using to compile all of the 2024. Since we made the color magic system in 2018 for the original 5e game mechanics, and now that it's been updated for 5e24, I need to also update the entire game chassis for the Magic the Gathering system to comply with 5e24 as well. 5e24 really is a better game system for a ton of reasons that we've talked about a lot before. I won't go into specifically right now, but I really prefer 5e24 in general. It jives a lot better with the way I like to run games, how I like to portray characters, and it utilizes more resources, which can be boiled down into a spell mana system. So it's, to me, it's giving me a door to make more of what I like to do with spell points, and it works better. So this is the playtest document. For you, it's going to be a read only, but once it publishes on DMsGuild, of course, you can read it cover to cover, and I'll have a ton of stuff on my Patreon link down below for building out like Boros Swiftblade, Hedge Witch, like a Witherbloom Sedgewitch, Dimir Spies, any kind of character off of cards we can build into either subclasses, monsters, both, or like a Strixhaven template that can be like kits of powers and spells that can be applied to the character to choose for portraying that sort of a character in your game. So we've been here for a couple hundred episodes of building this over the past 16 some odd months. We're playtesting it on my Discord channel, which is linked down below as well. So we know those that are familiar with the channel, thank you. Barbarian Fighter, Monk, and Rogue have been converted into a half-casting chassis with Monk's short rest mana supply, 1 point per level up through 20 points. That gains access to powers from 1st to 5th rank of power, 1 point per rank, just like a Paladin, a Ranger, and Artificer. As half-casters, it's 1 mana per level of spell. So a 1st level spell costs 1 mana, 5th level spell costs 5 mana, and then you just have a pile of mana. So there you go. So we have the original Martial Powers playtest document was creating this power system very akin to the 3rd edition Book of Nine Swords, so that all what will be now 14 classes all have the same mana resource that they can use in different ways. And so blending a multi-class character creates interesting options of you being able to use these different powers in combat, as well as your spellcasting capabilities. So if you want to build a Gish, this really gishes you really good. Whether you want to do like a Paladin Sorcerer or a Paladin Warlock, or you want to do a Bard Rogue, they both use a mana system. They both progress that you can, again, use your points between the two as you please. So we'll be able to blend further and further in. Like we can make a Dimir Mind Sniper that would be able to blend ideas from, like, say, Scion, Bard, and Rogue into an alternate class build option to scaffold from level 1 to 20. Just basically like build guides that they had in 3rd edition. 3rd edition was amazing like that. So, but we have all the entire power system, how it operates, how characters can use it, what you can, how you can prepare powers, use your points, and all the blah-de-blah. And that's the first the first 20 pages of the document is just how do martial powers work. And then we have the martial power characters. Yesterday we finished the Barbarian. It is 100% done. Most of the Fighter, Ranger, Rogue, Paladin, Monk, Artificer, and Warlock have similarly been resolved, but we're going to be spending all of next week just fine-tooth combing through the Fighter and the rest of these classes so that we can really sign them off as like Dunzo Dun Dun. And then from there, we are also using the same document to update the spellcasters, the full casters, for the color mana system. That will be, again, it's already on the DMsGuild link down below, but we're going to be updating all the books so that they use the 5e24 mechanics, and the 2014 book will still be there. So it's a great opportunity for me to like glam up how the system looks, like just the documentation of it, as well as we have better mechanics that have developed over time that we can just basically, it runs more smoothly now than when we first published it in 2018, because I keep using it in campaigns from level 1 to 20. It takes about 250 some odd, maybe 270 hours to go from level 1 to 20 and then start the campaign over again. And I've used the color mana system in I think 2 full 20 level campaigns so far. So it works really well. So I want to keep updating it. I love it. I absolutely love the system. But let me scroll down here to get past all of this power stuff and half casters to get into the full casting builds. So we're looking at the Unearthed Arcana. We're looking at the Scion. It's okay. So there's a lot of people that are posting a lot of content. I've watched a lot of videos from like Trent Monk and Landlocked Warlocks, Indestructiboy. Those are my three main go-tos when I'm looking at analyzing stuff. Terran Indestructiboy is excellent at looking at balance and flavor. Trent Monk, Chris, is amazing with balancing the math behind it. And the Landlocked Warlocks posse, they're really good about the feels. Like, how does this fit into the, because they're not necessarily dedicated to the 5e stuff. They've got a broad perspective about that. So it's between the three of them. I've garnered a lot of insight, checked out Reddit a little bit, started getting some opinions about it. And so basically it's a full caster. It has a psionic flavored spell list, but it's still just a spell list, right? It's still using the Vancian spell slots and the 8 schools of magic. We're going to be swapping that out for the color mana system and the spell point chassis that we build. But looking at how this progresses, we have a number of dice. The energy dice, you spend those to basically boost stats, just like we do with the power system. Like for example, if we're looking at martial powers down here, precise attack. When you make an attack, like we have power dice here. The martials have a course D6, D8, D10, while the monk has D6, and then at 5th it has D8, and then at 11th it has D10, and then at 17th it has D12, right? Well, the Scion also has D6, D8, D10, and D12, but interestingly, the Bard also gets a D6, a D8, a D10, and their D12 comes in a little bit. Is that right? Is that when the Bard's D12 clicks in? Interesting. Hold on. Let's go look at that real quick. Am I typoed on that? Feels like it should be on 17, but let's see. Huh. Yeah, it clicks in at 15. Okay, well that's interesting. The Scion comes in at 17. So basically, we can use the Bard chassis for the Scion, and it works just fine. Basically, the Scion is like an interesting blend of a full caster with limited meta magics that modify actions like inspiration from Bard does, but also modifies spell casting like a sorcerer does. So it's like it's an intelligence, like the Bard and the sorcerer are both charisma-based classes, and the Scion is an intelligence-based class. So the Scion kind of sits in this space between where the Bard and the sorcerer is at. So I think it's actually more accurate to scaffold off of the Bard. And what is this at? We're at 4 levels, and then 5 levels, and then another 5 levels. Oh yeah. Hold on. Yeah, it clips in a little early. I don't like that. It bothers me that it's inconsistent. But that's okay. So we're gonna just grab the Bard scaffold here real quick. Just gonna pick that up and let's just drop it in up here. So UA Psion. I've got an hour today. I'm just on a lunch break. So we'll see how far along I get. Side-eye. I don't know why I said it that way. Get out of here, you little wuggle. Max level, prep spells, mana. Okay, on a long rest, we start with 2 mana because you get 2 spells at first level. And then we get 4 spells at second level. And then at third level, we get access to second level spells. And second level spells cost 2 mana. And then we progress up to, at 20th level, we have 80 mana. A 9th level spell, Epic Boon, Word of Creation. 10th level spells, we allow you to upcast to 10th level. And Wish is the only 10th level spell that exists. So that is that's the spell that you automatically load into here. I don't know why the Scion doesn't get Wish, but it should. So let's go with, we always include Epic Wish. Epic Wish, which we describe in the books we have linked down below, is at 20th level, you're basically ending the campaign. So you're going to be retiring your character. So as a sort of epilogue, you as a player can use an Epic Wish to permanently burn mana, to get rid of your mana pool, a portion of it at least, to change the world without caveat or DM fuckery. So like if I want to destroy Minzo Baranzan, then I could dump 80 mana into it and say make it so. And then Minzo Baranzan will have some sort of catastrophe of your description. We were talking about this when we were talking about piety with the clerics earlier, that gods and otherworldly patrons grant their power to mortals because mortals start at first level with a tiny little pinch. These otherworldly beings are investing their energy into these mortals to empower them as examples of their grandeur. And as those mortals become more powerful, they foster and grow that mana inside of them. And then when they are reclaimed by their god or patron, that god put 2 points of mana into you at first level, and if you can get all the way up to 20, you get 80 back. That's a 40 point. That's a 4,000. Is that a 4,000% return of investment? That's not accurate. It's 40 times. Yeah, 4,000. Yeah, 4,000% return of investment over the course of 20 levels. If you end up burning out at third level, it's still a 400% return of investment. So like this is good. The gods then accumulate all that mana into these massive troves that they themselves then invest into creating reality, such as let's create Kryn. So we create Kryn, and maybe we pour 10 billion spell points into the creation of the world of Kryn. It's now there. If you want to unmake the world of Kryn, you need to bring to the table more than 10 billion points of mana to override my godly wish to fabricate this world. Maybe I want to insert gravity as part of it or whatever, but like maybe gravity's only like, say, maybe the idea of gravity on the planet is only 1 billion points. So if you can find a way to accumulate 1 billion points to throw down and no more gravity, then you can take gravity away from that world and everything's just going to kind of drift around. It's like, just, there you go. That's the idea of it. So you can make a wish and you can burn your mana to lock it in so the DM doesn't fuck with you. And so your DM can be like, yeah, I'll give that to you, but it's going to cost you 50 points or whatever. It's up to you. So that's the idea behind Epic Wish. It's a great capstone feature. Almost every full caster in the game gets access to it, and honestly I think the Scion should as well, because you're just basically like reshape. What was the tagline that they used in the UA? Hold on, let me go to the front page. Bend reality with the new Scion class and 4 subclasses, but it doesn't have Wish. Wish is the ultimate reality bender. So I think it's appropriate that we would have Wish. I'm pretty sure we don't. It should be there, but I don't actually think it does. We're gonna be a little scattergun here, guys, because I'm just kind of kicking around and looking at stuff. Time stop, sure, but no Wish. It should definitely have Wish. All right, so cheers. Okay, so this is the base chassis. We're converting the Scion. We've got Psi dice. What else do we need? Oh, energy dice. Sure. Energy dice. We got our... I'm not going to have a set number of dice. We're going to fuck around with that using the mana system. So stay tuned. Cantrip. 2 cantrips. Prep spells. 4 prep spells. 2 spell slots. We end with 22 spells. We end with 23 just because we curve out. Okay, cool. That looks good. Number of dice. It's basically your proficiency bonus times 2. This is how like the Psy Warrior and the Soul Blade work. Speaking of which, we can drift down and Echo Knight. Yeah, I know Echo Knight isn't actually a wizard's class, but I can make a version of it on my Patreon. So keep an eye out for that. Psy Warrior, there you go. Psionic Power. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you create a momentary shield of telekinetic force as a reaction. Roll a number of power dice per mana expended. So the way this system works is that we have these power dice, D6, D8, and then at 17th a D10. And when you spend a point of mana, you roll a dice. A lot of things that you could spend mana on don't roll dice at all. But the power dice system in there is to modify your D20 tests as well as to stack damage. So we're going, but so the example, so we're looking at here the Psy Warrior and the Soul Blade further down in the Rogue. We don't give you psionic dice because power dice is just built into the chassis of all the martial classes now using the martial power system. So when you have a Psy Warrior, you're basically loading out you already have the psionic dice that are there, so you can just spend mana and roll dice, and you basically, as long as you still have mana, you have as many power dice as you want. And these guys get their mana back on a short rest, so you get all your Psy dice back on a short rest. You start with 1 point of mana on a short rest, and then by 20th level you have 20 of them. But you can also give up action economy to generate temporary mana that can be spent on dice. Like don't move, that generates a point of mana. If you don't use your movement action this turn, you get a point of mana. If you give up your bonus action at first level, it's worth 1 point. 9th level, it's worth 2 points. 17th level, it's worth 3 points. And when you take the attack action, every attack that you sacrifice generates a point of mana, and your reaction generates a point of mana. So all the action economy that your character can spend, like a 20th level fighter with 4 attacks, that's 4 mana off your attack action, 3 points off of your bonus action, 1 point off reaction, and 1 point off of movement. That's a total of 9 mana that you could theoretically spend on just making saving throws during your own turn. Like if I jump into lava and I'm trying to save for half damage and I keep failing, I could just burn all of my actions while I jump, so that's my movement. So I'd have 8 points left to be able to just burn through my mana pool however I need to burn through it. But that's the marshals. They're working off this short rest mana. So they can have a ton of mana, but they have to give up action economy to use it. And action economy is the most valuable thing to martial characters, as opposed to mana is the most valuable thing to casters, because generally you can only cast 1 spell a turn anyway. So you don't have to. So what's actually important to you isn't how much action economy do I have left right now. It's, can I afford to cast this spell right now, or do I need to come up with some sort of tactical option that uses my action economy instead? So that's the balance, like the parallel balance between marshals and casters. And by creating a system that gives them both a mana resource, but the marshal is mana starved unless they surrender their action economy, while the full caster has an abundance of mana and has and doesn't have any use for action economy. So, and you can't use action economy to cast spells. So if you gish into a fighter wizard, you can move around and generate mana to spend on your martial powers and save your mana pool for when you actually want to cast spells. So you get a lot of value in multi-classing, and the whole system is designed to complement you. It wants you to multi-class, but it rewards you for it. It lets you do crazy crap if you stay in a single class, but it rewards you for multi-classing as well. Like the paladin, for instance. If you take 2 levels of paladin and 18 levels of sorcerer, you're going to have a massive mana pool, but you're still limited to first rank strikes, which is going to be up to 2 dice of damage because you bailed on the paladin early on. But you have so much mana that you can just spam it forever. So it's a fun change in balance that makes sure that the classes the classes remain the top of what that class is supposed to do. So that's some of the ideas there. And again, all of this stuff it's all free for you guys to look at. It's read only for now. It's all play tested. None of this is final and official. But again, the playtest document is right here. So that's what we're fooling around with right now. But I'm showing you off the Psi Warrior because we don't actually use Psi dice with the Psionic Warrior. So similarly, when we're looking at the Scion features, we've got the stack of energy dice, and you get some of these energy dice back when you get half of them on a short rest, and you get all of them on a long rest. But to compare that, let's look at how the Bard operates. So the Bardic Inspiration, you gain a Bardic Inspiration die. It's a D6. It evolves into a D12. You have a number of Inspiration dice equal to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. By 5th level, Font of Inspiration, you now regain all your expended uses of Bardic Inspiration when you finish a short or long rest. In addition, you can expend 2 points of mana to regain 1 expended use of Bardic Inspiration. And you can expend 1 Bardic Inspiration die to regain 2 points of mana, no action required. So that's going to be our balance point with the psionic dice. So psionic die, we don't have a battery of psionic dice that we need to mention here. Since it's an intelligence-based class, we're going to work off of intelligence. You'll have a number of psionic die, a number of energy dice equal to your intelligence modifier. You can spend 2 mana to get more. You can spend a psionic die to get 2 points of mana to cast spells with. When you finish a short rest, you get your psionic dice back. We're going to give that to you at 1st level instead of 5th level. So actually, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's just build. Let's build out the scaffold. So we get spellcasting, psionic power, spellcasting, subtle spellcasting, comma, subtle telekinesis. Thank you. Let's see, psionic disciplines, psionic modes. Three is Scion subclass. This is the boring part. ASI. Psionic restoration. We'll find out about that. Subclass feature, Psionic Surge. Notice how the we'll see this a little bit more closely when we get to it, but 9th level doesn't have anything. Psionic Discipline. No, not going to mention Psionic Discipline subclass feature. 11 is 1, 2, 3. 12, ASI. 13, 1, 2, 3. 14, subclass feature. 15, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 16, ASI, 17, Psionic Discipline, 1, 2, 3, and D12 here instead of here. Epic Boon, Wish, and then Enkindled Life Force. Sure. Cool beans, buddy. Yeah, we give you a final cantrip at 19th level because you just don't have enough cantrips in your life. We need more cantrips. Spell level cracks out. That's good. That's good. This is all cool. This is all set. That scaffold is good. Spellcasting. Total cantrips, spells, mana as on the table above. You can swap one cantrip when you gain a level. You can swap one spell when you finish a long rest, and you can swap all of your spells when you gain a level. When you gain a Scion level, that's different. Normally, the way that D&D works is you can swap a cantrip and you can swap a spell when you gain a level. That's too slow. It's too slow. Having a wizard, a druid, a cleric, they can swap all their spells whenever they finish a long rest. A wizard can swap one cantrip when they finish a long rest, and they can swap one spell when they finish a short rest. I think a better space that allows more flexibility and adaptability for the unprivileged full casters, the learners, not the preppers, right? But they're all calling it prep now, so it creates that confusion. The learners, as it were, I think that they should be able to swap one a day. So that's just my personal philosophy. You can ignore that variant rule if you want. It works really well, and it gives you a reason. It allows you to adapt to the adventure more, which is good. You can swap one spell in a long rest. We'll swap. Casting spells cost 1 mana per level up to your max spell level. When using color mana, only 1 point of mana needs to be devoted to one of the colors of the spell. Any additional mana can be any color. When you finish a short or long rest, you can swap colors for any amount of mana that remains in your pool. And then there's the books down below. You can see a lot more information. So that's the start set where we're at. So we're gonna flesh out the rest of the scaffold here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll see how these things shake out. Let's go to. Hold on real quick. Let's just grab a batch of that. Timely timer. Thank you very much. Psionic power. Subtle telekinesis. What else you got? 2 Psionic Discipline, Psionic Modes. Psionic Mode. We're going to be borrowing from the Sorcerer as well. So stay tuned for that. Psionic Subclass. ASI. And we have language for this stuff, so we're going to gank it from the Bard. 5. Psionic Restoration. 7 Psionic Surge. We're almost done. don't need to copy that. I don't know why I did that. Sonic Surge, and then Epic Boon, and Kindle Light Force. Epic Boon. Enkindled Life Force. Epic Wish. Okay, we can just fill in the gaps, the stuff that we know, we can grab. Let's drop that out of the way. Let's bounce back up to here. Let's kick down the document. Let's keep going. Warlock, almost there, stay on target. Bird. Spellcasting, Inspiration, Magical Trades. Epic Boon. We don't have the ASI scaffold in here. That's weird. Should be in the cleric though, right? Thank you. Feats. What is it? 4, 6. For 8, 12, 16. Good. UA Psion. 4, 8, 6. ASI. Boop. Feet. Blessed Strike. Subclass. Choose a Scion subclass. Gain the features. You gain additional features at 6, 10, and 14. Let's make sure our feats are coming in when they're supposed to. 16, 12, 8, 4. Good. Feet, feet, feet. Feet. ASI is ability score increase is one of the feats. It's technically feat, not ASI. It's weird that they felt the need to leave that be. I get it. The backward compatibility is a bitch. Feet. 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 Three, 4. Just gonna fetch these real quick just to be consistent. Bard subclass, choose a Bard subclass. This all scaffolds the same, right? Yeah. Three, 6, 14. 6 and 14. There we go. Yeah, good. And then go down to the sorcerer. So I gotta scroll down to the sorcerer to find what I want. Meta magics. Epic Wish. Kindle Life Force. Okay, cool. So now that we've got the base scaffolding done, we can now actually start kicking through the document and look at our modifications. Hey, what's up, Ked? I think spell points for the Scion is a wiser choice, although I must say, after being on that stream with Terran, the class was much better than I expected. It's not horrible. It's basically, regardless of my personal opinion, I would love to see it in a half casting scaffold on a short rest resource. Spell points, obviously, because I love spell points, but it's sitting in a space between monk and warlock. I think that would be a really niche place for it to be, because you've got like 3 marshals, right? Fighter, barbarian, and rogue. You've got 3 half casters, artificer, paladin, and ranger. You've got 5 full casters already, and then you have the monk and the warlock. I think finding something that sat in that space with warlock and monk would make a neat little triad out of those 3, and having it so that you'd be able to blend between your discipline points and your and the invocations. I think that would do a lot of really fun work to make the Scion work inside of that space. So, personal opinion though, they were a little physical in older editions. The Scions were, yeah, well, yeah. I love psionics in second edition, especially with Dark Sun. Awesome. That really got me into spell points right off the cuff right there. In third edition, I enjoyed the Scions. There was a lot of psionic options in third edition, but it was a little clunky. Well, 3E was kind of clunky in general, but they were playing with all the bells and whistles that you could come up with for D20. Like, they were all over the place with that system. But let's see. But I know that between, you know what? Let's grab this real quick, because we're gonna be poaching from the spell point sorcerer and the spell point bard. So let's kick on down to the spell point bard. Yeah, not bad. Good job, Kearney. I will not have time to get the subclasses today. We'll have to save that for Tuesday. There, Bard. Okay, cool. So let's see how they want the Scion to play and what we're gonna do to it. So, Sonic Power. Again, the energy die. We're treating the energy die like the Bardic Inspiration die. It basically has the same scaffolding, D6 to D12. The levels are a little different. The monk's progression is the same of 1, 5, 11, 17. That's where the Scion is at with its energy die. And we're using we're going to be using the Bardic Inspiration system of you get intelligence points worth of psionic dice at level 1, and you can expend mana to get more dice, and you can expend dice to get mana. It's a 1-to-2 ratio. 2 points of mana equals 1 energy die. They could have called, why didn't they call it focus dice? Again, making it blend in with the monk, just it feels like a lot of fun to me. So there we go. Get myself sitting proper. Sonic Power. You have a Wellspring of blah blah. It lets you do blah blah blah. Energy dice to enhance certain abilities and yakety schmackety. Regain a point, blah. When you regain 1 expended die when you finish a short rest, and all of them when you finish a long rest. So let's go up here, Psionic Power. You gain, I'm just gonna be rough with it. You gain a stack of energy dice equal to your casting ability modifier. Check this shit out. You can swap casting when you finish a short rest, concentration here. Your spell casting ability modifier. Your spell casting ability can be intelligence, charisma, or constitution. Everyone's saying how squishy the Scion is. Why not let them actually benefit from cranking their constitution up so that they can have a good stack of hit points? They're only on a D6, but if they're going to have a 20 constitution, that's not bad. That's not horrible. They'll end up with 170 hit points on average by 20th level. That's not horrible. It's nothing compared to Barbarian, but what is? So you get to choose which one of those spellcasting abilities for purposes of multi-classing. If you want your Scion to work well with your fighter, fighters can use strength, dexterity, or intelligence. Take your pick. And so if you wanted to blend a Scion with your Psi Warrior fighter, then you could go with intelligence for both of them. So you get a stack of energy dice equal to your casting ability modifier. You regain 1 win, minimum of 1. You regain 1 on a short rest. You regain all on a long rest, period. What else can we do? Some features that use psionic energy dice require you to target to make a saving throw. Casting stat, telekinetic propel. Okay, so we have yakety schmackities that we can do with it. Telekinetic propel. Telepathic connection. Hey, what's up? How second edition scientists needed basically those stats for the different disciplines. Yeah. There was different disciplines, right? If you're reworking abilities, anywho, why not just rename energy dice with focus dice like you want? Because I'm just working off the UA for now. My intention is to leave. If I can leave it alone, I'll leave it alone, and keep it as similar to what you would actually see in the official documents, so that when you look at it, you don't get lost in it. Like, I don't necessarily like the idea of calling. We're going to end up calling them. Well, energy dice is fine. It's fine. We got power dice for marshals. We have bardic inspiration dice for the bards. And now we have energy dice for these dudes. And that's basically the only 3 types of dice that there are. So, but yeah, I mean, reasons, I guess. First draft. I'm not gonna think too hard about that. It's not a big focus for me right now. You know? Yakety schmackety. Legit question, though. I might end up doing that, honestly. We'll see. Damn it, Ked, you make too much sense. Stop being so sensible, my man. It's changing your powers. Again, we allow you to change 1 power when you finish a long rest. You can change them all when you gain a level. Cantrips, you can change a cantrip every time you gain a level. There you go. Sonic power. As a bonus action, choose a larger or smaller creature that you can see within 30 feet of you, and then roll 1 psionic energy die. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed or pulled up a number of feet away from you. Telepathic connection. So up to 30. Okay. Sonic power, you can regain on long rest. You can sacrifice a you can sacrifice an energy die to gain 2 points of mana, and you can sacrifice 2 points of mana to gain and regain, restore, an energy die to restore 2 points of mana, and you can sacrifice 2 points of mana. That's how we do bards, right? I feel compelled to go down to Psionic Restoration. I want to see what that is to make sure I'm not missing any low-hanging fruit while I'm thinking about swapping conversion costs. The Barbarian, we let you sacrifice Rage, one use of Rage, to gain 2 points of mana. You can sacrifice 2 points of mana to regain 1 Rage. So you have a lot of resources available to you. When you finish a short rest, you regain expended psionic dice, but no more than equal half your number of dice, rounded down, which is ridiculous because with this system, you only have even numbers, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's always going to be an even number, so you never have to round down. That's a cut and paste. That's sloppy. It's sloppy. That feels like that came off of the bard. That feels like it came off of the bard. So level 1, you can swap. You can gain 1 energy die, and you can regain 1 on short rest. And at level 5, that's what we want to do. Psionic Restoration. You regain all energy dice on a short rest, period. And thank you, Timely Timer, for keeping me on time. Let's see what my time is. How are we doing on you old clock down here? Yeah, we're doing okay. I can get through the base scaffold, and then on Tuesday we'll come back and we'll tear apart the subclasses. That's what we'll do. Keep the kids excited. You regain all energy dice when on a short rest, and you can sacrifice an energy die to restore 2 points of mana. Great. So at first level, you get your charisma bonus, but we're not going to rely as much. So we can get rid of this. Check this out. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, Telekinetic Propel as a bonus action. What's the distance? As a bonus action, target a creature within 30 feet of yourself. Expend an energy die and roll it. The target is pushed away from you by 5 feet times result of the die. Strength save to ignore. Strength save. The target is pushed up to 5 feet. The creature can make a strength save. If successful, it doesn't move, and you don't spend the die. 100 feet straight away from you. Only if the target fails the saving throw. Right. You have telepathy with a range of 5 feet. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 psionic energy die and roll it for a number of minutes equal to your psionic level. The range of the telepathy increases by a number of feet equal to 10 times the number rolled. I am not a fan of that variable. Telepathic connection. I want to instead visit telepathic. Feet. Any creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself, your telepathic utterances are in a language you know and the creature understands. 60 feet. Telepathic increase for a number of minutes equal to your psionic die. The range of your telepathy increases by a number of feet equal to 10 times the result of your die. Let's see. And the creature understands you only if it knows the language you can communicate. Doesn't. Telepathic connection. You gain the telepathic. Feat. You can expend an energy die to communicate with a creature that doesn't share a language with you for a number of minutes equal to the result of the die roll. There, better. Subtle telekinesis. You gain the mage hand cantrip, which you can cast without verbal or somatic components, and the hand is invisible. Psionic discipline. You learn further psionic techniques that are fueled by your psionic energy dice. You gain 2 disciplines. Psionic disciplines. You can choose to prepare psionic disciplines instead of spells. See the list at the end of the class features. And then we'll be taking all of these disciplines, converting them into feats that will then drop into the martial power system. So they all work as spend a psionic die, get a bonus to an ability check. Spend a psionic die, get a boost to basically like some sort of D20 test, or like deal extra damage, or blah, blah, blah. A bunch of really small kicker effects. Kind of like how Bardic Inspiration dice work, except they only affect you. Your Scions are selfish bards that only improve themselves. They don't improve other people. But yeah, that's essentially how we're going to work them. They're basically meta magic feat / bardic usages. So, and again, you can spend 2 mana to make use of it. And again, we start off with only 2 mana at first level, and you get a psionic die, and you get your charisma bonus. So, and then again, you can convert all your psionic dice into additional mana to cast more spells at first level if you want to. And in exchange, you could also spend the 2 points of mana that you get at first level of the class to get an extra psionic die if you want it. So you can flip-flop back and forth between the 2 of them. Whenever you spend a psionic die, you can use a psionic discipline. There's like 8 psionic disciplines. You can pick all of them up and then burn your entire mana pool on spending psionic shit. I think there's 8 of them. By 5th level, you can have all 8 psionic disciplines that they offer in the book right now. We could create a shitload more from the martial power system that we have. We could even take stuff from the martial power system and add them as additional psionic disciplines that limit you to only using one die, not multiple dice. The martial power system lets you use multiple dice. The Scion is only able to use one at a time, like a bard. So we could lock it into that frame. But since since the Scion is a selfish bard, you can do in the martial power. All the martial classes are also selfish channelers. They only affect themselves with these things. The parallel already exists. So there's like 20 powers in the martial power stack here in this document that could just be converted into additional disciplines as we wish. So that would work, and then we can take all of these disciplines and drop them down into psionic feats and include like telekinetic and telepathic in that stack. Honestly, you know what? That's a good point. Hold on. This telepathic also gives us detect thoughts for free, which is super fucking useful. And it's probably something that a Scion should just have. So telekinetic shove. As a bonus action, you can telekinetically shove one creature. You can see within 30 feet of yourself. When you do so, the target must succeed a strength saving throw, DC 8. Possibility score increases the feat and proficiency bonus, or we move 5 feet towards or away. Ooh. Okay. Let's revise. You gain the telekinetic feat. You can expend an energy die to increase the DC of the saving throw by an amount equal to the die roll, and the target is pushed away from you an additional 5 feet times the result of the die. If the target dies not expended. There you go. That's a better use. We already have this. We already have the tech in the book. Just give them the fucking feat. Okay, the mage hand cantrip. You can cast it without verbal or somatic components. You can make the spectral hand invisible, and its range to the distance it can be away from you is both increased by 30 feet when you cast it. The spell casting ability is the ability to cast feet. There you go. And so subtle telekinesis is no longer important. Telekinetic. Powerful telekinetics. And we get rid of subtle telekinesis because it gets folded into powerful telekinetics. Simplifying the table. So these are things you can just do for free. Ad nauseum. So we don't need as many dice unless you want to ramp. So you can use your dice to cast more spells if you really want to. Oh, that's right. We can't do that until 5th level. That's right. Eventually, at 5th level, you'll be able to do that. Useful. That's right. Yeah. The bard gets all of them back, right? And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. We get one back on a short rest, all of them back on a long rest, and at 5th level we get them all. We get them. You gain all expended uses, right? And then we, 5th level, all energy dice, because you're only getting you're not getting 12. You're only getting your Constitution modifier with. I'm just gonna go with Constitution. It just seems obvious. Telekinetic, powerful telekinetics, telepathic connection. That feels good. Psionic disciplines. We already resolved that. That feels good. Psionic modes is sorcerer's focus. So let's go look at the sorcerer incarnate. Nope. Innate sorcery. That's the word. Innate sorcery. So psionic modes is basically innate sorcery, right? So let's go take a look at that real quick. Psionic modes. You have owned your psionic powers to act as both a shield and weapon in battle. As a bonus action, you can choose one of the following modes, granting you certain benefits for 1 minute or until you use the feature again. Attack mode, damage mode. You can use this feature twice, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. That's the same scaffold that the sorcerer has. As a bonus action, you can unleash the magic coursing within you for 1 minute, during which you gain the following benefits. Bop, bop. In addition, as a 1 minute ritual, you can regain a number of mana equal to your max limit. You can use this feature once, regaining it when you finish a long rest. That's replacing the sorcery point recycle. So we can grab this, copy paste. As a bonus action, you can flavor text. You as a bonus action, you can manifest psionic power for 1 minute, during which you gain the following during which is it the following benefits, or is it just one benefit? Let's find out. Here's okay, so in comparison, the sorcerer gets a DC bonus equal to your max sorcery limit, and you have advantage on attack rolls. You can use this feature twice, regaining unexpended uses. You can use this feature twice. Save. Let's look at what the modes are. Attack mode. Damage from your weapon attacks, scion spells, and scion features ignore resistance to psychic damage. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell, you can expend a psionic die and re-roll a number of damage dice up to your spellcasting ability point. You must use the new rolls. And then defense mode. Okay, attack mode, defense mode. I'll go with that. Attack mode. Defense mode. Ignore resistance. Have resistance. And when you fail an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw, you can take a reaction to expend a psionic energy die, roll the psionic energy die, and add the number rolled to the saving throw, potentially turning a failure into a success. Yeah, I'm not going to make you pick one or the other. It seems unnecessary. You can, when you deal psychic damage, it cannot be resisted. And you can expend, and when you roll damage, and when you roll psychic damage, is it an attack specifically? No, when you roll damage for a spell, and when you roll dice to deal psychic damage, when you roll dice to determine how much psychic damage you deal, you can expend an energy die to re-roll a number of dice up to the result rolled, keeping the new result. They're using the energy die like a battle master uses. It's a resource and it's a variable at the same time. But with the mana system that we have, the mana becomes the spell, becomes the die. So you can exchange your mana for the die. So the die, we don't need to treat the die as a resource. It can just simply be when you do this, you spend the die and you roll the amount, there you go. But the actual resource is coming from how much dice and mana are you willing to dump into this. Whenever you do this thing, there you go. Oh, that's actually really important. We need to include that. You gain a stack of energy dice equal to your casting modifier. You regain 1 on a short rest. It starts as a d6 and scales up as shown on the table. This is mutt language. I'm not trying. You regain. Let's see. You regain 1 on a short rest. You regain all on a long rest. There we go. Okay, cool. When you deal psychic damage, it cannot be resisted. Let's see. Hold on. What is the cost of the meta magic for a sorcerer to re-roll dice? Thank you, Timely Timer. You can roll damage. When you roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 mana to re-roll a number of damage dice up to your charisma modifier. You must use the new roll. Nah, we'll leave it like this. Okay, so you deal psychic damage. Now we have... You have resistance to psychic damage. And when you... What is it? Fail? And when you fail an int, whiz, or caw save, you can expend a die an energy die to what? When you fail an int whiz or charisma saving, you can use a reaction to expend an energy die. Adding the result to the save, potentially changing failure to success. Wait, do I know before? No, it says when I fail, so I already know. Potentially turn a failure to a success. There we go. Period. Great. That's better and more in balance with what other 5e classes can already do. Next, Subclasses, that's fine. Feats, that's fine. Psionic Restoration, that's fine. Psionic Surge. Wait a second. Sorcery Incarnate, how about that? Your innate sorcery upgrades at level 7 too. So your Psionic Surge upgrades at level 7. What's the chances that the subclasses of the Scion don't use Psionic Surge whatsoever? I don't know. The subclasses they made for the Sorcerer doesn't use the innate sorcery ability at all. It may as well not exist. And considering it's only a +1 to the DC, it kind of doesn't. So we ramped that fuck out of that to make it really useful. And we integrated innate sorcery into all the subclasses, both the 2024 and the Forsaken 2014s, so that the innate sorcery significantly increases your character's power while it's being utilized. So let's see if something similarly dandy happens here for our Intrepid Scion. Wrong page. So this is what it does here. So we got that thing, right? So while your innate sorcery feature is active, at the end of 1 minute duration, you can choose to extend duration by expending 1 mana and maintaining concentration on it as a level 1 spell. The effect ends when you choose to or you lose concentration. In addition, if you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it if you expend 2 mana while you take the bonus action to activate it. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be able to cut and paste this and just change the word. And hey, look at that. Nothing else happens until 19th level, just like with the Sorcerer. Neat. So let's see how this thing flows, shan't we? And then we'll be done. And then we'll do the subclasses on Tuesday next week. Oh, that's Psionic Surge, yeah, we took care of that. Psionic Restoration, half your dice. When you roll initiative, you can expend 1 of your hit dice and regain 1 expended use of Psionic. In addition, after you roll 1 or more Psionic Energy dice, you can expend 1 of your hit point dice and treat any roll of 1, 2, or 3 of the Psionic Energy die. In addition, I don't need this. It's because they're using hit dice because they don't have their psionic die resource and their spell slot resource are too constraining. So they're trying to find another resource to spend that's going to feel okay in flavor, and they found hit dice. So they're having you expend hit dice and psionic dice at the same time to get a better psionic effect. We're instead using mana because we're building a spell point. So we're building a spell point Scion. So let Bob be our uncle. While you're what's it called? Psionic. All right. Psionic Surge. There you go. While your psionic modes are active, at the end of the 1 minute duration, you can choose to extend the duration by expanding 1 mana and maintaining concentration on it. This is Psionic Focus from 3rd edition. Like, you had to use an like a swift action, I think, or maybe a bonus action to activate it. And while it was active, you had to ramp to your effects. Like, you'd roll like attack with advantage, or what? It didn't have advantage back then. It's like a +4 to your attack roll, or like stuff like that. And they started, like, the Psi Warrior messed around with Psionic Focus a lot. You had to be psionic focused if you wanted to make it a psionic attack on somebody. So that's how they, and you would deal ability damage in 3rd edition. God, that was nasty. Fucking fun. And maintaining concentration on it as a level 1 spell. The effect ends when you choose to, or you lose concentration. And of course, with the system that we use, you can stack concentration effects. At level 7, you can have up to 4 levels worth of concentration active at the same time. But the concentration DC becomes 10 plus the amount of mana that's being maintained at once. And it's not just when you take damage, but anytime you make a saving throw, if the result of that saving throw isn't at least equal to your concentration check, then you lose all of your mana. You lose concentration on all the spell effects, and they're all gone. So that compensates for the fact that you get a fuck ton of mana and you can spam shit. Well, you can spam Flash Bane things dealing damage or one-shots and stuff like that, but you have to concentrate on anything. With the new 5e2-4 rules, all I have to do is throw a javelin at you, and if I hit, I'm going to force you to make a topple saving throw. I don't care if you succeed or not. If that 17th level wizard over there is holding on to a 9th level spell effect that they're concentrating on, I'm going to blip them with a javelin, and they're going to lose those 9 points of mana, and they're going to lose that 9th level spell at the same time, and they just lost whatever buff they were getting off of it. So, like at 19th level, you can maintain 2 Big B fists at the same time. Super cool. DC 20. Here comes the javelin. I don't care if you get knocked, like the DC on that's like a 14. I don't care if you fall or not. I'm going to stab a javelin into your face. You're going to forget about your Big B's fists. That's how it works. In addition, if you have no uses of psionic, modes, you can use it if you expend 2 mana while you take the bonus action to activate it. Psionic modes, 7th level. You've got 24 mana at 7th level, so you're gonna have probably by that point you're probably gonna have 4 or 5 points on your 4 or 5 dice on your own, and then another 12 dice out of your mana pool if that's how you want to spend it. And then you'll get those 5 points. You get those 5 dice back when you finish a short rest. So and that's at 5th level restoration. So pretty freaking good. I want to lean into giving you reasons to spend your dice so that you can chew up your mana pool to give yourself these little perks and advantages by expending psionic dice. But again, and you can just expend your mana to get points back. Psionic modes, and that's it. So that's the scaffold. Again, it's a really fun blend between Bard and Sorcerer. So when we build things out, like we could potentially, this scaffold is so close that I could just take the Scion and blend it with the Sorcerer and just call it a single class. I really could. It's there's so little different about it. I think I'll leave it like this, but I'm sorely tempted to start stacking meta magic effects from the Sorcerer that we have and add those in as spend X dice, and you can trigger this meta magic effect or something like that. Something like that. Anyway, that's it for now. I think I'm going to be done for now. We're going to come back and we're going to continue messing around with this on Tuesday. Actually, Monday night. Monday night's the next night that we have on task for doing spell point stuff. So I'll be gone for the weekend. I'll be back Monday night to continue working on this. I'm going to drop this down alphabetically into the PS area. There's absolutely no reason for me not to let you use this so far. The scaffold's fine. It's a cool space between the Bard and the Sorcerer, like we were saying. So let's get past Druid. I like there being something between Druid and Sorcerer because now we don't have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Check it out. Let's go to here. There. Okay, this is where we're at. When we come back next time, we're going to flesh out. Monday night, we'll get this finished. We have 4 subclasses to build, and then the disciplines. We'll take care of those. We'll convert the disciplines into power feats and integrate those into the martial power listing, and we'll carry on. Hey, Kev. Hey Steve, how you doing? It's good to see you, my man. I'm just finishing my session, so catch the replay and then catch up with me on Monday night, and we'll finish this thing out. From a spell point perspective, this is fine. I mean, even if you don't use spell points, it'd be okay. But spell points makes everything better, so I'm perfectly fine with this. I would probably allow you to blend this with Bard and allow Energy Dice and Bardic Inspiration to probably be floated across each other. Be transparent, like be the same pool. Don't think I had a problem with that. Don't think I'd have a problem with that. Anyway, if you're yeah, there we go. I thought I saw a flash of something, but anyway, that's it. I gotta go. I'm going to see you guys later. Later, guy. Cheers.